Hello and welcome back to the Society of Flutter Shinobi. I'm your guide Kun, and today we dive deep into the art of ninja techniques, focusing on a skill that shows results, called functions. Think of functions as your ninja techniques, each with its unique purpose and execution. Imagine a ninja performing a kata, a carefully choreographed sequence of moves. Similarly, a function is a sequence of instructions that perform a specific task, just like a ninja executing a technique. Here's the basic structure of a function in Dart. In this code, perform technique is the name of our function. Now let's see how this action will work. Let's open up Visual Studio Code and let's add some code inside the function. Let's hit run, and the output should be in our debug window down below. Just like a ninja's technique might require certain inputs, functions can take these parameters to utilize inside of the function. Let's try another one. Here in this function, we have something a little bit extra, the cache symbol. In many modern programming languages like Dart, JavaScript, and Python with f-strings, the cache symbol is used to insert variable values into a string. It allows you to create dynamic strings by embedding variables or expressions directly within them. There also is this symbol, which is a syntax commonly used in programming. These are known as string interpolation or variable substitution within a string. It's like the ninja swiftly inserting values into a message without breaking the flow of the text. It's a powerful feature that allows you to embed expressions, variables, or even complex calculations directly within a string, making it easier to create dynamic, formatted strings. We will talk more about these in detail in other episodes. To call this function, we will write this. When you run the code and provide the string value, you will see the result in the debug console. In Dart, you can use both named function parameters and unnamed parameters to pass arguments to functions. These approaches give you flexibility in how you pass data to functions, making your code more readable and maintainable. Think of it as two different paths a ninja can take to achieve the same goal. Named parameters allow you to pass arguments to a function by specifying the parameter name along with the value you're passing. This method is particularly useful when you have functions with multiple parameters and you want to make your code more self-explanatory. Here's how to use the named parameters. When calling a function with named parameters, you specify the parameter names along with the values you're passing. This makes it clear which value corresponds to which parameter, enhancing the readability of your code. Unnamed parameters, also known as positional parameters, are the more traditional way of passing arguments to a function. You pass values in the same order as the function parameters list. Here's how to use unnamed parameters. When calling a function with unnamed parameters, you provide value in the same order as the function parameters list. The position of the values matter, so they correspond to the parameters in the same order. So when a ninja successfully executes a technique, they often yield results, right? Similarly, functions can return values. In the previous chapter on variables and data types, you learned about variables, which are that they are like tools in a ninja's utility belt. They hold data that you can use and manipulate in your code. We also talked about data types. Just as a ninja knows of various weapons, you learned about different data types, such as integers, strings, and possibly booleans. These data types define the nature of the data a variable can hold. Now let's connect these concepts to functions. Think of the parameters as the ingredients a ninja needs to perform a technique. These parameters are like variables that are specifically defined for that function. You declare the data type of each parameter to ensure the function receives the right kind of data. Here's an example of what that kind of function looks like. And just like a ninja might bring back valuable information from a mission, Functions can return data using a data type specified in their declaration. This return value can be stored in a value for further use. Here's an example of what that kind of function looks like. So now let's try it out for ourselves. As you can see, functions act as powerful tools in your Ninja toolkit. They not only allow you to encapsulate a sequence of actions, but also enable you to work with variables and data types in a more organized and modular way. By combining these concepts, you'll be able to create a sophisticated code that's both efficient and maintainable. Let's take out our magnifying glasses and look closer at how data types play their role in functions. Functions in many programming languages, including Dart, have a return type. This return type specifies the type of data that the function will produce when it's executed. Just like a Ninja's mission might yield different types of results, functions can return data of various types, including integers, strings, booleans, and custom data types. For example, in Dart, we would write this. In this function, int is the return data type, indicating that this function will return an integer value. Functions often take parameters, which are inputs that the function uses to perform its task. These parameters have data types, defining the type of data they should receive. Like a Ninja preparing specific tools for a mission, specifying parameter data types ensures that the function receives the correct kind of data. Here, string is the data type of the message parameter, indicating that it should receive a string as input. Functions can manipulate and combine data of various data types. Just as a Ninja might use different tools in a mission, however, it's crucial to ensure that the data types are compatible. For instance, you can't add a string and an integer directly. Functions help manage this by allowing you to specify the data types they accept and return, reducing the risk of type-related errors. Therefore, we can again utilize string interpolation. Here expects an int of age and returns a string. A unique return value you've already seen is the data type void, which is used as the return type of a function, and it signifies that the function doesn't return any value. In other words, when a function's return type is declared as void, it means that the function's sole purpose is to perform a task or an action, but it doesn't produce any data or result that can be stored or used elsewhere in your code. Here's a practical analogy for understanding void functions. Imagine a ninja on a mission to stealthily disarm a trap. The ninja's mission is critical, but it doesn't involve bringing anything back. There's no treasure or secret message to retrieve. The mission is to perform an action, disarm the trap, and make the area safe. In the coding world, a void function is like that ninja mission. It's meant to carry out a specific task or an action within your program, such as printing a message to the console, updating user interface, or saving data to a file. This function doesn't return any data that you can store in a variable or use in calculations, much like a ninja's mission that doesn't bring anything back or any physical items. Here's an example in Dart. In this code, void indicates that the print message function doesn't return anything. Its sole purpose is to print a message when called. So, dear Shinobi, remember that functions are your coding techniques. Just as a ninja trains tirelessly to perfect their skills, you too must practice your writing and using functions to become a true Flutter Shinobi. That concludes our lesson on ninja techniques called functions. I hope you're feeling more empowered on your journey to becoming a true Flutter Shinobi. But our path is not in here. In the next episode, we will uncover ninja decision making called conditionals. We'll explore the art of making critical decisions in code, much like a ninja assessing the battlefield and choosing the best path forward. You'll learn how to use if statements to navigate your code like a true master. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to join our growing Flutter Shinobi community. Until then, keep coding, keep practicing, and remember, the path to mastery is the path of the ninja.